Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for yet another pick a card reading. Today's subject is very simple. It is just guidance for the now. So, any kind of guidance, advice for the present situation or whatever is going on in your life in the present moment. Like always, the instructions are very simple. Just take a look at the three piles of cards for a couple of seconds or as long as you need to, and then choose one which speaks to your intuitive senses the most. The timestamps for the three interpretations can be found in the description and also in the comment section. With this being said, thank you for being here and let's begin. Hello everyone who has chosen the first pile. Your cards are the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Cups reversed, the Ace of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Now this is a very specific guidance for you because there is a lot going on in your life, but this is where everything is going on in the invisible. So basically it is your own personal cycles and karmic patterns interweaving together. Maybe exactly in the now, in this period, something important might be going on for you personally, karmically or astrologically, a big return or a big life event. But all of this is yet still in the invisible, and it's pretty difficult because the pattern that is imminently about to play out in your life, so the next period which awaits you, probably the spring, is really not set in stone. So this is a little bit unusual and even scary. You might even be feeling this as a very unusual, very latent inner restlessness. It's not like, let's say, severe anxiety and whatever, but maybe this plays out in your dreams. Maybe you have dreams with like a prison or dreams with being stuck in a place, being stuck in a house, maybe dreams with train or any kind of travel, because your unconscious is telling you that you need to choose a direction, but for you it's really difficult because this has the choice itself, or better said, the way you express your choice to the universe and your own unconscious mind, of course, because that is the bridge, that is the gateway, that is, symbolically speaking, the Wi-Fi where the information gets transmitted. It's not really philosophical, it's not really spiritual, it's not your usual cup of tea, because you're normally, naturally, from birth, a very intuitive, spiritual person. Even if we just cut down the spiritual side, you have empathy, high emotional, and of course, purely mental intelligence as well. So intelligence is, in any way, shape or form, is definitely your strong point. So usually you can figure out so very many things. Usually you're very in tune with everything. And you do have a very natural and personal way of communicating with the universe. But the problem is that right now, this time, you cannot rely on that whatsoever, because this is where it's not the higher part of your being who has to choose your fate, so to speak, but rather the very primal human self, if that even makes sense to you. And that part of you, the survival, where our survival instincts are, where our deep, like, sexual instincts are, the reptilian brain, is not very active most of the time for you. Quite the contrary. Maybe you practice, I'm not saying literally, but yoga, or Buddhism, or something where you always try to quiet your mind, quiet the raw instincts. Maybe sometimes you pacify yourself. Maybe sometimes you get, willingly of course, into Piscean vibes, very artistic, very dreamy, very peaceful. You might be someone who is a very big fan of, compassion and everything that maybe the Christ consciousness represents. But the opposite of that, the primal self is not very active most of the time, exactly because you balance it out. So if the primal self is fire, you put a lot of water in it, on it. And of course, none of this is anything bad, because you have a tendency, especially when you were younger, to be very impulsive and to be really feisty. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but the person, the very identity of who you desire to be and embody, is not a big warrior type of person. All of that is part of you, of course, but your image and the person who you are creating, generating your identity in every way, shape, or form, is not a very impulsive person. It is actually a very, very balanced person. There is a lot of inner work here. For example, how to temper yourself, to really think and contemplate before you speak. Be careful what words you use, not to judge other people, not to project this and that onto other people. Forgiveness, and of course, very, very healthy detachment from all and everyone's personal drama. But unfortunately, or better said, fortunately, the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter, this time it's actually your primal self who needs to have the final word to say, as in, this is who I am in my genes, and this is the kind of life I would like to be living and experiencing in the next, I'm not sure, maybe 10-year cycle, 12-year cycle, etc. Whatever cycle is going on for you personally. So you may be feeling very, very, let's say, weird or very, very unusual. It is where like you just cannot tap into the heavy spiritual part of yourself. You're very much almost like forced to be detached even from that side. You are detached, you are on your eagle's perch, that is absolutely fine, but this is where your perspective is not very philosophical, not very spiritual. That is just one side right now, but it's very, very earthly, very, very in tune with physical reality, with the concrete, with, every day. And that is a massive, massive positive side. That is a huge plus. But this may feel slightly uncomfortable to you, or maybe this is the weirdness of it all, that how come you have this very earthly perspective out of nowhere, like, for example, a manager, or someone who is very, very into, please understand this the way I mean it, real life, as in not really the astral and whatever is going on there, but just the earthly, just, here in society, in the now, and the way things are right now. And the reason why you may be feeling this, experiencing this so very strongly, and also at the same time, maybe many people in your life, your people who you usually communicate with and talk with, friends, acquaintances, etc., are also like this in this vibe, and they might be inspiring you, or one way or another. Their communication is very important for you, because everything that they say, it kind of resonates with you. It's almost like the universe talking to you through them, but not the usual spiritual kind of expression, but like truly, literally giving you the hints of what to do, ABC, like very, very down to earth way. So you know that something is going on, you know that something is taking place in your life, in the invisible, but it's in a way that you are not familiar with. And also, this Six of Cups reversed represents that maybe not so long ago, maybe in last autumn, you have been through a very, very powerful psychological purge where you truly had to detach from the past or transmute the past into just a memory, and basically rip out all roots of emotions from it. It was, for many people who chosen this first pile, a really strong trauma. For others, something with their childhood. For others, something with their low self-worth. And it was almost like at that time the universe rubbed it in very, very deeply, like salt on wound properly. And you're just after that healing, because after all, that is what it was. But especially in the autumn, we had that very, very strong Taurus eclipse, which did this for a lot of people. And you might have asked yourself back then, well, how am I healing from this if it's if you're making it so painful for me right now? Because you might have expected that after that healing, after that release, after that purge, you feel are very spiritually and peaceful inside. And that's not what happened. Quite the contrary. Your instincts to survive, to make it, that you count, that you are actually the center of your own universe, and any spiritual principle that doesn't say that, well, you also purge that out. Even Christ consciousness, even compassion, even unconditional love, there is a time for everything. You embodied that until now, and as unusual as this is for you, bye-bye. That's it, that's a past. Good and bad of the past is gone. You detach, it's just a memory. Right now, you're actually this 9 of Wands. Maybe your inner warrior, even if it's spiritual warrior, well, a spiritual warrior has to manifest and embody its principles, but in a very earthly way. This is where it's not talk, it's not just daily practice. This is where you fight for yourself. You need to be the center of your own universe. And quite frankly, this was the universe's gift to you, because you might have given the opposite feedback to the universe for a lot of years in your past, that, I don't count as much, no ego, compassion, everyone is equal, everyone is the same, I'm not the center of the universe after all, there is place for everyone, harmony, etc., etc. And all of this was beautiful and truly magical and elevated. And suddenly, unexpectedly, this is also a thing of the past. This is where the universe says, well, you know what? I have to make you the center of your own universe, because otherwise we cannot cooperate. I don't need you in that role. I don't need you to embody the Christ consciousness, because that was always part of your life. So right now, trust me, as in your creator, and let's do that which is meant for you truly. So you feel the inner warrior awakening from within you, and you're very much ready to fight. And this Ace of Swords is very symbolic and very significant, because it's, first of all, air element, like practical communication, plans, things, contracts, maybe things really weaving together informationally for you, and also social connections. So one way or another, it's also part, of your social life. But another symbolism of this Ace of Swords, well, it is the crown. Even the Rider-Waite deck and very many decks display that crown on the sword. And that means that someone else's time to be out there, to be the king, to shine, to be self-centered, to matter, to count. And this even spiritually, because when someone matters and counts, when someone wears the symbolic crown, the universe supports that person in every way, shape, or form, physically, materially. That person's time is up, and this doesn't mean that they die or anything bad happens to them, but their own karma shifts, and you will be sent into the karmic position of that person, where you wear the crown, and the universe supports you in every way, shape, or form, physically, exactly what you have been missing in your life until now. You have all the knowledge, you have all the philosophy, you have all the inner work, you have all the enlightenment, and now it's time for you to do something for yourself, practically, physically, in a concrete way. And this is where you asked for the universe to trust you. Maybe this was your soul's biggest desire, and it happened already. So right now, the universe is kind of working from within you to bring online that inner warrior, that impulsive person who you in a way shut down or transmuted, because that is your new identity. That is the new part of you, and like it or not, that is who you're becoming. That is where you assert yourself. You truly act like the king of your own castle, but you also have the Ace of Swords, the sword itself, the truth, the words, your intellectual creation, your studies, the power of your mind that cuts and shapes reality. So this is where you get into a leadership position. This may represent in a very physical, material way your job, your career, but it can also represent if you're freelance, for example, or an artist, where you become much, much stronger and you assert yourself in the community, in the artist or whatever community you belong to, and the universe empowers you, and you use that empowerment for whatever you're guided through your instincts, through your gut, through your instinctual self. So this is exactly why you feel this way right now. The Wheel of Fortune. Something big is about to take place in your life, but you need to be there in a real, very down-to-earth human way and make the right choices. Because if you choose compassion right now, it defeats you. The other cycle will be just as the last one you lived. And I'm not sure, even if it's pure bliss and even if, you get enlightened for real, I don't think that will serve you that much. So, like it or not, do that which you feel the most, and do not fear. Do not fear the assertiveness. Do not fear the survival instinct. Do not fear a certain kind of selfishness where you truly have to be the center of your own universe and not anyone else. Because this is what the universe is trying to program in you, but free will. If you reject this, it cannot help you, so your next cycle will be exactly the same. So what the universe is telling you, you purged the past, good and bad, so now you have to be reborn. And it's your choice if you continue the same story that simply no longer serves you because the world is not the same, or you rise up to your true power, that which you have been working on for a lot of years. Maybe you have studies, maybe you have a lot of experience behind you, maybe you were someone who helped and connected a lot of people in your life, so you deserve it. So instead of going with the flow, right now you need to steer your karmic boat exactly where your instincts lead you, even if it's turbulent water, or if it's you have to navigate against the natural flow of the river, so opposite. And ultimately, last but not least, the symbolism of this Nine of Wands, strength in opposition. Fight for yourself, no matter who or what tries to oppose that. And I do sense that for you guys, it's your faith. It is your highest principles of compassion and everything that, is the most elevated and beautiful and altruistic, ultimately, part of spirituality. But right now, do not choose that. Fight against anything that might want to disempower you or that might need sacrifice from you. This is where it needs to be you right now. And that is the choice that you make. And if you make that choice, the universe will definitely empower it. And it's not the shadow, and it's not whatever else you may think. So don't judge. Don't look at it from a very Piscean perspective, if you get what I'm saying. You are right now, regardless of what you think, a living, breathing life form. So of course you need to survive. that law of nature is much more significant right now than any higher philosophy and principle. You need to be in it to win it, so to speak. So this is what the cards have to say for you. Thank you so much for being here and listening. Wish everyone a wonderful weekend. Hello everyone who has chosen the second pile. Your cards are the Star, the Lovers, the Three of Coins, and the Ten of Coins. Now for you guys, this must be a really important phase in your life because you're stepping into the future. Strangely, this pile might represent two different nuances of life for different people. For some people, this might be a very important moment for your career. For other people, this might be a very important moment for your love life, but not necessarily in just pure romantic way, but as in what you will do practically and how will a new relationship or an old relationship change your everyday life. So the Star card, that is the opener of the reading, well, naturally this represents hopes, dreams, and the power to create our own future, and not just strictly from a spiritual perspective, but this is where if we want the future, one way or another, we have to plan it, even if that plan is going with the flow. But I'm very sure that for you guys, it's not going with the flow right now because there is a lot of material element to it. However, where I want to get with this is that the Star card is always preceded by a Tower card. So maybe the year 2021 was a Tower moment for you, but I do sense that it wasn't the doom gloom Tower where you lost everything. Maybe you had that way before 2021, but it was the kind of Tower card where everything was just very unstable. Sometimes the Tower represented divine intervention, as in something popped up in your life or fell into your hands that saved your situation, while other times it was so many inconveniences and strong physical fatigue and burnout moment followed by elevation and passion, and this went on, in cycles, up and down, all through the winter, all through the summer. So it was really hard to, get a grip on life and actually being able to make concrete plans. Now, these cards say something very specific, especially for those of you for whom it is the career, livelihood, work that is the most important part of life right now. Because if we translate these cards one after another, well, this is where the universe almost literally tells you, put all your passion, put all your love, put all the hope that you have in your heart in the work that you're doing. May that be a project, may that be artistic, may that be someone's true career in its practical sense, but put all the ambition and hope you have in it, because it will get to a jackpot moment. Something will come together, and the time is much quicker than you could possibly imagine. And also, chances are that for some of you, it's not even just the now. You have been doing this, putting your passion into your work, but the universe is telling you that right now, in this very second, do not rest or do not take a moment of respite, even if it's hard. Try to put everything you have continuously in it, because it is meant to lead you exactly to the life that you desire for yourself. Materially speaking, of course, this is coins energy, so money, livelihood, stability, and just being able to prosper and thrive in your own life, whatever that means to you. For some it's home, for others it's simply daily routines, for others what they can afford, for others having time to themselves and their work not basically stealing their life away from them. For others, quite the opposite. They want to put all their passion into their work and them to be recognized as highly skilled, talented, and very, very high quality professionals. And also, especially for those of you for whom this is work and career, maybe through the internet, the Star Aquarius, or any kind of sharing or anything like that, even, mouth to mouth. So mouth word, where people just speak about your work or something you may have done for a person, especially if your work is intellectual creativity, writing, speaking, counseling, artistic, or something that basically you produce yourself. Someone is definitely impressed, and maybe you find a partner. And through partner, it can even be a company or anything like that. Another person, or as I said, company or group of people or whatever in the same industry, or very similar or linked, correlated one way or another to what you do, that will see the value in what you do, and they will say, well, come and join us and we'll give you whatever it is that you need, and maybe even more. And with this, well, you will accomplish the 10 of coins, a financial goal that you have been working on long term, an investment or a purchase, or maybe investing in yourself, into something that you've been missing in your life. Or maybe something that you might have lost at the tower moment and that comes back, but in a much, much better way. And also, whatever you're doing with this work, it's not just money or you, it is leaving something to the world. It is very, very important, because either this will lead to a book or something that will immortalize your contribution to the industry. So whatever it is you're doing, do it. Maybe right now you're in a shroud of mystery, in the sense that you're just doing it, but you really do not see this coming. Or actually the opposite. You might be thinking about, well, this is not gonna support me for much longer, so I better make a plan B or something like that. You're optimistic, but because that's the star card, so you're not afraid, you're not doom and gloom. You do feel a sense of genuine optimism, but you might be thinking, maybe I should surrender what I'm doing right now, or the form, shape, whatever it is, and embrace whatever comes next, whatever can support me. And that is the best possible attitude. So with whatever you're doing right now, even spiritually, mentally, the attitude, the mindset, you are exactly where it is you need to be. So the universe is just telling you, keep it up, because it is working, and you will see it very soon. Maybe in March, maybe in 2023, but don't get me wrong. In 2023 is the big reward part, as in you already have exactly what... In 2023 you might be living the 10 of coins, so things will start to add up very quickly. This is not the situation where you have to invest a lot of energy in your work and only get the reward in a year. This is immediate, and also because you have been already investing a lot of energy into your work, so it actually fits together perfectly. Now, of course, for other people for whom it isn't necessarily about job and career, this can be a relationship, a connection. Maybe the most urgent thing that you need in your life is a partner. And this is where the star card comes into play. Because as I said earlier, the star card is always preceded by the tower card. So maybe you have been very, very disappointed by maybe not just one specific person, but your whole idea and your own personal vision of a perfect partner or a partner for you has been shattered by events, by circumstances, by failed attempts, or by maybe a very powerful psychological purge, where the universe showed you, well, look, the kind of partner that you think you desire it would lead you to a bad ending, so don't even desire that. What or who the archetype may be, who you think is perfect for you, is actually the most not perfect kind of person for you, because maybe you are the type of individual for whom a person just like you, similar person, is not gonna lead anywhere. Maybe you are the kind of person for whom the total opposite of who you are is what actually is going to work. But this is just detail. Where I'm actually going with this is that the star card is active, so that means you once again have a certain hope and dream that you can connect to someone, you can find someone, that maybe your dream of having a partner or a partnership is not really lost forever, but this time you're different. This time you have given up on the big spiritual perspective as a soulmate or twin flame or anything like that. You know that for you personally that is not part of your journey. So you are way more open to any other partnership where it is naturally the Lover's card, based on mutual respect, alliance, collaboration and attraction. So the spiritual part and the fated part is no longer part of your desire, no longer part of what you're trying to attract. You're actually open to anything, anyone, as long as there is true resonance and trust. And I'm also getting here that the fated and soulmate kind of connection belongs to your past. And unfortunately, maybe your story was where that soulmate connection was the bitter kind. Where, you know, soulmates, of course, there is type of soulmate relationship where that person uses you because they used you ever, even in the astral, even in previous lives. So of course they will want you or need you or wanted to use you even in this lifetime. But the universe put a stop to it, a big stop. It really severed that connection. So that is exactly why soulmate type of thing is really not for you. Now you operate in a different way. This is where you have to attract that person with whom you can actually establish a really good working, functioning alliance in every way, shape or form. And this is the coin energy, including materially. You need to live together, your income value system, your mental distinctiveness, so to speak, so your mindset, your studies, everything has to form an alliance. Of course, not really the way you think it. It's not that this person has to be like you. Even if this person is the opposite, that's already an alliance because you complete each other. What you're not good at, this person is good at. Maybe if you have like bachelor's degree or PhD or whatever, and that person is just, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, a plumber, that's exactly ideal and perfect for you, because what you can do that person can, and what you can that person can. So this is what you're looking for, a true working alliance, and you will need to live with this person, you will need to have sex life with this person, so that matters a lot. And spiritually wise, well, spirituality is about if this person has genuine respect for the divine, that's it. That's it. That's all you're looking for. So this is exactly what you're getting, but that person is very unusual. As I said, atypical for you. So be prepared to be surprised and shocked, because your desire is not coming in your life in the usual way, the way you think. And also this person might support you either materially, or this alliance will create a new material chapter in both of your lives, where maybe you move away from your past and that person's past, and it's just you and them, and that is happiness. And also, maybe many of you might already know this person. Maybe there is someone already who shows a kind of interest, or maybe you feel that someone is watching you, that someone is near. So be open keep up this attitude. Drop all expectations and allow the attraction to play its role and see where it gets you. And of course, have no fear, because as long as there are two people willing, any relationship can work. It's the willingness, it's the openness and the honesty which makes relationships work, not anything else, to be totally honest. So this is what the cards have to say for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish everyone a wonderful weekend. Hello everyone who has chosen the third pile. Your cards are the Sun reversed, the 10 of coins, the 4 of wands, and the 5 of coins reversed. Now for you guys, this may be a very mysterious but also important period in your life where, you embody right now the Sun reversed, but of course this may not be very, very new to you, because I do sense that ever since 2019, you've been through a pretty sad period of your life. When I say sad, well, it's not the kind of sad where it's total depression and stuff like that and total passivity. It is the kind of sad where you really had to be tough. You really had to fight your battles along with the sadness and the depression and everything like that. But because the Sun card reflects this, you didn't give up. You tried every trick in your book to make it dignified in a very, very honorable and dignified way. Sun reversed a lot of self-sacrifice, a lot of making other people happy, a lot of putting people on first place. And of course, some of this wasn't even bad, in the sense that you just foolishly pleased or sacrificed yourself. A lot of this self-sacrificial energy was karmic. It was this that you had to do to free yourself from old karma. And chances are, for a lot of you, it's not your own karma, it's just family karma that you just could not bypass in any way, shape or form. You were brave, you took the heavy, heavy, heavy cross on your back, you went there and did it, and it already ended. But it might have already ended very, very recently, so you don't even know maybe that it ended. So the Sun is reversed, which means it, just like in cosmology, when a star exhausts its fuel, well, it's not burning as bright anymore. You're past the supernova moment, so your jaw's contracting, your light is fading away, and you are cooling down from the inside. Of course, that is not necessarily negative, because when you're cooling down, that means frustration, the anger, the depression, the anxiety. And I can't believe that I'm still stuck in this situation, and the stagnation and the frustration with being stagnant, the inertia, everything is cooling down. So it has a good side and a bad side as well. But you do find it very difficult to smile and be your usual self, because you've been through a lot, and it really, as I said, burned out your inner sun. And maybe this affects your creative center a lot as well. You are usually a very, very creative person, and by this I don't necessarily mean that you paint and stuff like that. Of course, for some of you that is exactly what you do literally, but for others it's just a creative approach with everything that you do in life. Like from the simplest routines, you can add a touch of creativity. You can add a touch of playfulness to everything that you do. A small line of humor, for example, making yourself and everyone else smile, that is also creativity. That is also self-expression. That is basically like infusing your everyday gesture with a little bit of sparkle, with a little bit of personal magic. The inner child, of course, the ludic spirit. So unfortunately, that part of yourself is, in a kind of spiritual hospital right now. They're resting, they're recovering, so the rays of your inner sun are not burning as bright. And maybe the inner sun chakra is also affected. So you need to do a lot of breath work. But as I said, the positive side, the frustration and inner anger, is also very faint, very weak, so everything is resting within you, so you feel very unusual. You might feel a little bit weird. You might feel that I'm kind of free, but I don't really want to do anything with my freedom. And I also see that you guys had a lot of material trouble in the past, maybe past 5 years. Strong money problems, either debt, or for some of you it was not just money problems, but ill health. Something attacked your physical body, and you had to recover, you had to struggle. You weren't as strong as usual, and you weren't as strong as other people, so you had to put twice the effort in everything that you did. Maybe it's also some kind of debt or mortgage or inheritance, or it was very, very tough physically. Maybe you guys lost your careers, your jobs, your income, or material comfort in one way or another, so it was very difficult in any way, shape, or form. You just simply couldn't respect yourself, honor yourself materially. But what is going on for you in your life, your karmic pattern, personally, this is where you're embodying the Ten of Coins energy. But this is just the start of the Ten of Coins energy. So basically 10 is also 1. This is a new beginning for you, you just don't know it yet. Maybe January is not the month when it will start happening. Maybe it's actually February. But what I can say is, as soon as Aries season, so the astrological new year, begins in March, of course, well, things are definitely starting to change for you materially. I do see that income is coming. Whatever that means for you, even if you don't take any further action right now, chances or opportunities are gonna appear in your life. And the keyword here is easy. The keyword here is completion. The 4 of Wands. For some of you guys, it means finally you're able to relocate. Finally you're able to create the most ideal living environment for you. For others, it means finally you can celebrate something, your success, or simply honoring your physical incarnation with everything a human being needs materially speaking. Going to events, going out, being as worthy, and by this I mean numbers, materially speaking, as your friends, having the same amount of income as them, so you are equal in this sense. Being able to walk with your head held up high, and the most important, the 5 of Coins reversed. The poverty, the abandonment, the scarcity, that which you suffered is finally ending, shifting. And with the Sun reversed, even if right now you're a little bit worried, even if you don't see this coming into your life, for very good reason, because your inner sun is not burning as bright. So where does the optimism come from? Where should hope come from? And you are not able to work hard. This is the truth. You are not able to go and do all those things that when you were young, you are not able to multitask. Maybe you're not able to hold a full-time job. And even if you live from your own creativity or freelance or self-employed or whatever, you're not physically, even mentally able to work as much. So you cannot dedicate a lot of time to work because you're done. You're burned out. You're exhausted. So that is why you might not really be optimistic right now, because you may think, well, whatever happens, what am I going to do physically? How am I going to live up to the expectation and standards and all that? But you won't have to worry, because from somewhere material comfort or income is coming. 10 of Coins. It can be from family, inheritance, a big win, or from a person or life just giving you some solution to this, where not only will you have the same amount of income as I said, your friends or everyone else in your life, but it will be much easier for you physically. You won't have to work as hard, and that is exactly the karmic reward for your self-sacrifice and your hard work. Well, this is what the universe has to say for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Wish everyone a blessed weekend. Until next time, bye for now.